The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh, got my hustle on, no imitation of bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throbbing my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Earnestly Podcast coming to you December 13th, 2023. It is week 15 of EJ versus Degenerate. And of course, Degenerate is here. Why am I on two screens right now? That's beyond me. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on 1 second. Let me just, there we go. And fix that. Boom. There we go. Hey, Zachary, what's up, bud?
What's up?
And we will get to our bets in a second. We do have some breaking news we want to touch on real quick in the NBA. Draymond Green suspended indefinitely by the NBA, by the league about an hour ago. This came through. According to multiple sources, NBA.com, Woj, the whole nine. Obviously, I'm sure you've seen the hit on Nurkic last night during the Suns Warriors game. You've seen that, right?
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on this suspension?
You could tell he was a coward who wanted to take a cheap shot. Wound up for a haymaker and then realized, holy cow, everyone's going to see this. I need to fake it. And that's what happened. He tried to stumble as he's making contact, like, oh, I did it by accident. I was falling. When you know it was a straight up dirty play. It's like when he started out in the league and he was kicking everyone in the balls and he's like, oh, I was doing this in Michigan State. And what do? You watch the video at Michigan State? He wasn't kicking people in the balls, but he needed that to get an edge in the NBA. It's
worked for him.
Yeah, but you've also developed the reputation as one of the dirtiest players in the league.
Yep. So indefinite suspension now. We don't know what that means. That could be anywhere from 5 to 10 games to hell the season. I heard a report earlier today that the season was in play, actually.
There's no way they'll go past the All-Star game. And my predictions, really, they'll just reinstate him after January 1st.
So you think he'll miss definitely rest of 2023?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, there's things he has to do to get back. There's some reports where he has to do, they didn't go into detail, but there's some things he has to do to meet the requirements to satisfaction of the league to come back. We don't know what those are yet. Maybe anger management stuff. I don't know.
I'm gonna guess. Send a fake apology to Nurkic. Send a fake apology to the Phoenix Suns organization.
Mm-hmm.
Put out a fake apology for the NBA to the rest of the league and his fans. Tell him he's going to have to take anger management. And lo and behold, he's going to manage to complete all his anger management and meet with whatever shrink they want to, who's a so-called expert. And whenever the so-called suspension's up, they'll say, yep, he met all the criteria.
You know what sucks about all this? I like Draymond Green. I really do. I think he's good for the league. But I do think he, in a lot of ways, tries to push. And here's the thing that hurts the most now. When he was doing this 5-6 years ago in the midst of the Warriors dynasty, it wasn't hurting the team as much, although it did hurt him in the finals of 16 against the Cavaliers. Hitting LeBron the balls, missing game 5, and you saw that played out. If you figure that, you figure by costing your team a title, you learn your lesson, right? You figure by that happens, you learn your lesson. But no, that didn't happen.
He's a dumb fuck. He's a selfish dumb fuck.
And here's the worst part now. The Warriors dynasty is crumbling right now before our eyes. They need him on the court. He missed 5 games. No. Well, listen, he's been good on the court when he's been there. Here's the issue. He's already missed 5 games this year for suspension that happened a month ago. Okay? The team fell apart when he was not there. So you say you love your team. You say you care about your team, all that. You know the value to your team, but you're so irresponsible the way you operate. The Warriors right now, as is, and granted, we're only in December, so it's still way too early to predict this. If the playoffs start today, they're not even in the play-in right now. And now you're going to lose this guy for, who knows? You say at least to Degenerate first. You see the Western Conference as is right now. It's Denver and a bunch of teams involved. Okay? Memphis is behind you guys, but Ja's come back in about a week or two. Golden State might get squeezed out of the playoffs entirely. And this is the last vestige of the dynasty we've seen here. Klay Thompson, free agent after this year. Not having a good year. Steph Curry. I mean, he's still great, but he can't carry on the load. He's 35 years old. Turn 36 next year. This is irresponsible. This is for a guy that preaches to be a team player and this and that. What happened last night was absolute malpractice. And if I'm Joe Lacob and the ownership of the Warriors, I'm apoplectic that I'm paying this guy another 4 years, $20 million a year for him to do this shit to me. I'm apoplectic right now.
Until you got to the ownership, I was already on one course. But then you want to talk about the ownership and go like, Draymond, come on, man. Are you serious? They are the ownership group that said, hey, you just punched your own teammate, ruined any chance of a season last year, and now you're asking for us to give you major money?
And they wrote it anyway. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So I don't feel one bit bad for them. At this point, I feel bad for 2 groups. I feel bad for the fans of Golden State because they have seen the writing on the wall for 2 years, and they have been screaming about that the athletes on the team, the size of the team, and none of that's getting corrected as you have an ownership group who I feel like has been forced by the media or some people in the media to try and keep the group, the trio together.
Yeah.
All right. But Draymond, he hasn't been a useful player for a winning team in almost 5 years.
I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. Well, I can see what you're saying there.
Because what was the use of him to Golden State when Steph was injured and Klay was rehabbing from a major injury?
Right. No,
he's not going to put up any kind of points. He's not really going to lead any kind of team. He's not that kind of guy. He's a tough guy. What he is Charles Oakley, and he's been made out to be more than Charles Oakley.
Yeah. But even Charles Oakley knew when to pull back.
Yeah. Well, Charles Oakley was a lot bigger. He's a lot smaller. So he can't pull back just as quickly.
I think the Warriors season is screwed.
It was screwed the moment the season started. Unless you were a Steph fan, you didn't expect them to do anything more.
Well, we said this on a previous podcast before that. We said that they were in trouble anyway. We thought maybe you could figure out in the playoffs, maybe a play-in team. I think this situation may cost them a playoff spot entirely. Now, that being said, Zach, I expect the Warriors to be aggressive today in the trade market to get help immediately. Not to trade Draymond, because I don't think anyone will take him at this point in his contract.
Well, I just want to know how you still think Draymond was important to the team this season when their season was so bad. Well, they weren't really a winning team, even when he was in the line.
Well, he was playing well when he was there. But again, the games he's missed between injury and the suspension has hurt them.
Yeah, because he fills up a roster spot. Not because of his talent. It hurts them because they need that roster spot.
So I texted you earlier. I think it's before the suspension came down. If I'm the Warriors, do I go after Pascal Siakam in Toronto? Final year's contract. He's not going to be there much longer beyond this year. Um, you're trying to keep this. You get him as a rental. See if it works. See if this works. Your last chance at another title. Free agent next year. If I'm the Warriors, do you got the Siakam and maybe give up Wiggins, maybe give up a couple pieces there?
Yeah, I mean, the way Wiggins has played this year, I don't know if he's going to be the same guy that the team needed when they won the championship and he was the second best player.
Right.
I don't know if I can see him reaching that level again. It might have just been a fluke run in the playoffs with all the matchups working in his favor.
He was there 2 years ago, and he's there last year. He never got back to that, and this year he's even worse.
No, he took off half a season for personal.
Yeah,
And
we still don't know what happened. What was that all about?
yeah, and that might still be leading into why he's playing so bad this year.
Very true.
But
So
I don't think a trade for Siakam does anything other than maybe put you in a play-in. At this point, let it burn down. You have to let Clay leave and somehow find someone willing to eat Draymond's contract.
he has, after this year, 3 years remaining on that contract.
For $75 million.
Good luck. Good luck. You get what you asked for. And for the record, we've seen this with every single dynasty existing in every single sport. It never ends pretty. The Bulls didn't end pretty. The Lakers didn't end pretty. I mean, you name it. The Heat didn't end pretty. The story always ends the same way. It's how you get out of it. The Warriors now is financial. They have the highest payroll in the history of the league right now. Even with the new Draymond deal and all that, and Clay, situation hanging on the bouncer now. And then now it's translating on the court now. And now what he's doing is impacting the team. They need him on the court. The Warriors are fucked, dude. They are fucked beyond belief.
No, maybe they can tie a couple first rounders, especially if they have a first rounder coming up this season. If they could tie that to Draymond and probably get rid of him because they're gonna have a high draft pick.
Yeah, well,
that's if they have one.
Well, they may have one this year. I mean, we'll see how the year plays out. But the priority is this: you got to extend Steph Curry as possible. How many years left? 2-3 years of prime left, maybe 2 years left of prime Steph.
That's why you have to cut all of this wasted money so that you can just start bringing in veterans.
Yeah,
that can actually do something.
Again, it never ends pretty, and you're seeing it now play out on and off the court. So, anyway. Let's get to our picks. NFL picks. You won last week. We both did well, but you won last week. A couple of things stood out for last week's game. I want to talk to you about real quick. You and I think went 0 for Monday Night Football. No, you don't. Actually, no, I was wrong. You got the over in the Tennessee Miami game. what a meltdown for the Dolphins. But yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right. So you're now up 7 weeks to 4 on me with 3 ties. So I need for me to come back and win this season. I need to win every single week going forward. And yeah,
we shall. You can do it, buddy.
Anything's possible.
This you know what helped me this year?
What's that?
Not looking at any lines till we did this show.
I don't look at lines to do the show. We don't. I don't.
No. You want me to already have an idea of like the games beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at one set of lines. They're never the same lines you're looking at. So this year I decided I will wait till you announce the spreads and go with it from there. Everything's just been gut reaction.
Well, that's the thing. I also do the same thing too, though. Like I may look at the lines, but I don't study it until.
Then what was your excuse the last few years?
Well, dude, at the end of the day, it's all luck. We don't know what's going on. These fucking. I mean, it's been an odd year, man. Come on, you know this.
What's the record?
Again, you have a great year. I've had a bad year.
Okay.
Gambling too has been a bad year for me.
Yeah,
as well,
no,
too.
it took a miracle one year.
Yeah. So anyway, we have 3 Saturday games this week. All 3, by the way, mean something for the record. All quality games. So first things first, let's get the riffraff out the way on Thursday. Chargers at Raiders. Raiders 3-point favorites. Over under 34.5. You already know. Justin Herbert out for the year. Smart move by the Chargers to why bother playing him? You guys are pretty much out of contention in the playoffs. You guys suck. You're probably gonna fire your coach in a couple weeks. What a disaster! They made my bottom 5 this week. I don't know if you saw my power rankings. They made my bottom 5 this week.
Is Justin Herbert still going to be considered a top 5 quarterback after what happened this season?
Not top 5, top 10, top 10, not top 5.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. This is gonna be the battle of the bottom 5 because I had 27 Raiders, 28 Chargers in my rankings. So the loser obviously going to win the bottom 5 this week. Chargers will quit on this team. They'll quit. Give me an under in this one. I mean, again, the Raiders lost to the Vikings 3-0 last week. These offense, I'm surprised that the over-under is as high as it is. I figure it'd be a little lower than this. It's actually a pretty high number because given where these teams are at right now. Give me the under in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Give me the under. I wanted to say I'll take the Chargers because I just found out Khalil Mack had like a career game against the Raiders with 6 sacks. So
In
I
fact,
figure he's gonna shine. But yeah, the under looks so easy.
In fact, I ain't gonna lie to you. This might be my mortgage bet of the week. For me, I'm that confident that these teams are so inept that the under. This is my mortgage bet of the week. Anyway, here we go to Saturday games. This game is a huge game for both these teams. Vikings at Bengals. Bengals are giving 3 points. Over under 40 points. So, Vikings bench Josh Dobbs for Nick Mullins. They're still holding on to that 6th seed currently in the NFC. Bengals are surging now, 7-6 without Joe Burrow. Jake Browning might find themselves as a throwing quarterback somewhere else next year. Who knows? Bengals are dangerous. Give me the Bengals to cover 3 points. I look. I think Minnesota's dead to rights now because I think between all the issues with the quarterback, they barely beat the Raiders on Sunday. I think there's too many teams behind them. If you asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said, yeah, the Vikings are locked to hold a wild card. Not anymore. Give me Cincinnati. I'll keep riding the Bengals. They're hot right now, and they're at home.
Again, I'm right there with you. Browning, he's playing for a starting job next year.
Yep,
and he looks so good.
He does.
So
Now, granted, now he's playing some really good talent around him too, though. So I mean, we'll see.
No, but you know what? When you have talent around and you shine, that means you can actually shine.
It's true.
If you're struggling with talent around you, you might as well just cut bait and move on.
Yeah. All right, the second Saturday game, we got the Steelers at Colts. The Colts are giving 1.5. The Colts 1.5 point favorites. The over under is 42.5. So this not necessarily any rumors, but a lot of people are getting frustrated about Mikey Tomlin, and some people are talking about maybe it's time for him to move on. I don't know where you stand on that. I like my gut is to say nah. It's Mike Tomlin's a great coach, isn't that? But I have to admit though, a lot of the issues they've had this year, holding on to Matt Canada as long as they have, Kenny Pickett not starting until late last year. Now, granted, I'm not saying Kenny Pickett is the savior of his team, but some of the decisions he's made, or lack of decisions he's made, or waited to the last minute, has been on his watch. Maybe things got a little stale in Pittsburgh with Tomlin. I don't know. I'm not saying that you should fire him or whatever, but maybe, I don't know. So, what do you think about that?
Please, fire him. Fire him. I want to see Eric Bieniemy be the head coach of my team, but I would not be offended if the Steelers fire Tomlin today and Washington were to turn around tomorrow and hire him. I would be very happy. You got shit quarterbacks like that, and you still manage to be a 500 or a winning organization, and a fan base wants to get rid of you. Hell no. Hell no. The reason why Kenny Pickett didn't start at the beginning of last year was because he wasn't ready. There's a reason why it took him until late in the season last year to get going. Rookie quarterbacks take time. Then this year, you saw what happened. He struggled out the gate. He struggles for 3/4 of every game practically.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that Tomlin's fault, other than the offensive coordinator?
But again, it is a coordinator, I agree. But we were saying since last year they should have fired Matt Canada.
All right,
That's his
but
decision. It's on his watch. That's on him.
so you're gonna get rid of your head coach because you didn't fire your offensive coordinator?
I'm not suggesting they do that, but I'm saying, but a lot of the things that is holding him back is by him not executing certain things, in a timely fashion. That's
I would
all.
say what's holding back the organization right now is the lack of ability to draft offensive talent. So maybe start at your, college scouting department or your NFL GM before I would get rid of Tomlin.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go under this one. This has a lose-release style feel. I feel like the loser of this game is out of the playoffs. Both these teams are 7-6. Steelers 6 seed, Colts 7 seed currently right now. But you got 4 teams behind, also 7-6 in the wings. Broncos, Bills, 2 other teams there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel the loser of this game is done. Give me the under in this one.
I want to take the Colts so bad.
They're at home
and continue to ride Gardner Minshew, but instead I'm going to just go opposite and take the over in the game.
Okay. Next game, the last Saturday game, another huge game. Broncos at Lions. Lions are now 4-point favorites, over under 47.5. So this line has now moved a point in the Denver direction. It was 5 points yesterday when I did Huddle Up podcast with Kyle and Jim, and now it's 4 points. So Vegas loves Vegas right now. Well, the bettors love the Broncos here. Detroit needs this game. They'll win the division, I think. Still, they got a 2-game lead over Minnesota currently right now, with 2 games against Minnesota coming up this year, to end of the year. But they need a win. I mean, by the way, I'm disappointed in the Lions this past week. They do their job in Chicago. We have 10-3 teams right now in the NFC if they've done their job. What a loss. That's such a bad loss. And the thing is, too, what sucks too. We kind of should have saw it. I should have seen this because they played 3 weeks ago, and Chicago hadn't done the right in Detroit in the fourth quarter. Up, was it 13, and they blew the game late. But what it shows that Chicago could play with these guys, and then they blow them out at home. Denver's on a roll, and Denver's schedule after this week, if they get through this game, this is the last tough game to schedule. If they win this game, the remaining schedules, not in order, I don't know what order it is, but the remaining schedule is Raiders, Patriots, and Chargers. So the Broncos could hypothetically win 11 games this year. And honestly, I have to consider Sean Payne coach of the year at that point, if that happens.
How about comeback player of the year and Russell Wilson?
Let's go. I'm there. Yeah.
Look, I asked you 4 or 5 weeks into the season, was Russell Wilson back to being a top 10 quarterback? And now we're 4 weeks to the end of the season, and I'll ask you again, is he playing as a top 10 quarterback?
He's in the conversation. And I think when we discussed it, we were saying that he's probably at 10, maybe 11. We'll see. But
yeah. Well, I think by the way this season's gone, by the end of it, he's going to be back in top 10 conversation.
That's my goat. Give me Denver this game.
I'm with you. Give me the points. Give me Denver. Look, Detroit, the last 3 weeks have been truly struggling.
Yeah.
So
they need this game bad. This for the psyche.
Look, they can win the game, but it not being 3 points, I'm gonna take Denver.
Yeah, field goal game here. I can see that. Yeah. Okay, next one. We got Bears at Browns. Okay, Sunday games, of course. Bears at Browns. Browns only 3-point favorites. Over under 38.5. Hey, Zach. So your boy's back and playing well in a year of our Lord 2023. Joe Flacco. How's that work?
Look, I believe that's where Baltimore originated from.
Right.
So maybe he just needs to be in that kind of organization historically in order to succeed.
What a story, though, huh? What a story.
They will make a freaking movie. I mean, you would have to make a movie at this point. And every other veteran quarterback is sitting here like, yep, I'm going to be able to sit back and wait, take a season off, not fully retire, but I'll sit back and maybe a team that could be in the playoffs gets a quarterback injured.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to start to see quite a few more aging star quarterbacks do this.
That being said, Chicago's been kind of sneaky good last couple weeks. Give me the over in this game. At least with Flacco quarterback, they do stretch the ball down the field.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you have that kind of strength in your arm, it's really hard to just dink and dunk for 5 yards.
Yeah,
those screen passes don't look right.
Yeah, we're seeing 2012 Flacco again.
Hey.
I should play a clip up on a podcast like 7 years ago when you were calling Joe Flacco a top 10 quarterback in the league.
He was at that point. He was, and you also don't realize the historical performance he did in that playoff.
In 2012, yeah, 2012, right? Yeah.
One of only 2 quarterbacks without an interception.
Yep.
Most touchdowns in a playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
He crushed it that year. Deserved his money.
Yeah. Give me the over in that one, though, on this game.
Give me the Browns.
Oh.
Browns feeling that magic, baby.
Dude, they're the 5 seed right now, and they're about to keep. They look like they're about to be stranglehold in that wild card. The way it looks right now, especially in this game this week. All right, we got Bucks at Packers. Packers are 3.5-point favorites. Over under 41.5. Disappointing loss of the Packers on Monday Night Football. Wow, that's a bad loss. Shouldn't have lost that game. The Buccaneers. If they the playoffs are today, they're the division winners in the NFC South. Nobody wants it though. We've had 3 different in the last 3 weeks. We've had 3 different division leaders. We had the Saints 2 weeks ago. We had the Falcons last week, and now we got the Buccaneers as the leader down in the division. So nobody wants it, and this week will be no different because Green Bay, I think, is going to cover this game. They need to bounce back here the worst way. Give me Green Bay to win. It'll be a competitive game though. I think they'll cover 3.5 points though.
Give me the over.
Ooh.
I don't want to pick a guy. You know, I want to kind of root for Jordan Love because I wasn't ever really a huge fan of Aaron.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't want to see Tampa suck. I'll put it that way. I like a lot of the guys on that team. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Baker in the NFL, I miss his commercials. I do.
But by the way, Mike Evans, future chief.
Dude.
He's free agent next year.
Should have been they should have traded for him before the deadline.
Yeah, seriously. Wait, this year's going for the Chiefs. We'll get to them in a second, but wow. Anyway, next one. Texans at Titans. Titans are 2.5-point favorites, over under 37.5. So Titans with a huge win against Miami on Monday Night Football. Very fluky, but hey, first off, you're 14-point dogs. The fact you're in the game was amazing. The fact you won the game is shocking. This is another game here. Houston, CJ Stroud, concussion protocol. Something to keep an eye on because again, 4 weeks ago, you got 5 teams at 7-6 right now. 2 teams are now currently in the 6 and 7 spots in the wild card race. One hiccup could spell doom for your playoff chances. So Stroud not playing this week could hurt the Texans' playoff chances here. Put the Broncos and Bills and Bengals behind them. So that being said, because I don't know the status of CJ Stroud, I'm gonna take a slight over this game just to be safe. What you got?
I learned one very important thing from the Jets game last week.
What was that?
With only one receiving target now
Mm-hmm.
in CJ Stroud's mind, there's not going to be a lot of points scored.
Ooh.
Give me the under in this game. Even if CJ is healthy enough to play, I don't see a lot of points getting scored.
Wow. Interesting. Who do you think wins the game, though, outright? If Stroud's healthy, the Texans win this game.
I think it's going to be very competitive.
Yeah. Tennessee is going to fight. It's a Vrabel team. They're going to fight.
And the Titans defense sometimes shows up. All right. So
they played pretty well against Miami last week.
Absolutely, and that was without their best defensive player.
Yeah.
So.
A lot of Dolphins points were on defense. So, all right. Next one here. Speaking of Dolphins, Jets at Dolphins this week. Dolphins are 9-point favorites. The over under 37. Dolphins kind of in a danger zone now because here's a stretch here now where the Jets are the easiest game on paper moving forward. Must win to me. It's a must win for the Dolphins this week because their last 3 games after this week are Ravens, Cowboys, Bills to close out the year. The Bills are only 2 games back in the division. So if you're Dolphins, you want to keep this 2-game cushion at least to week 18, so it guarantees you to win the division. Because if the Bills are 1 game behind you guys by week 18, for that game, in Miami, Buffalo wins that game, they win the division, and that can be scary for the Dolphins. So they need to win this game. This is the last. I won't say gimme because the Jets will fight. That defense is good. In individual games, anything can happen. I'm gonna take Jets on the points.
I would have thought Dolphins in a blowout, but now I got to worry about Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, that too.
And that he is so critical to everything that happens for the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm with you. Give me the Jets with the points.
I'm surprised that high. To be honest, I thought it'd be like 7.5, 8. Honestly, that's me.
I'd have been scared at 7, a flat 7. I'm not gonna lie.
Interesting. Okay. Next one, Giants at Saints. The Saints are 6-point favorites. The over/under is 39. So, Zachary, are you buying into the Tommy DeVito thing here? Are you in? Huh?
Look, I love that magic you got going right now. As long as we keep dropping in the draft order and you keep getting a higher pick, we're good. All right. I want to be I want to have the number 2 pick by the end of this season.
The way things are going right now, you might get there.
Yeah.
The Giants are only game back in the wild card. Granted, there's also like 5 other teams right now ahead of them at 6 and 7. So if they're gonna get in the playoffs, they need to win out the rest of the year.
I don't see that.
Hell no, that's scheduled. They got Eagles twice coming up, Saints this week, and the Rams. So good luck with that. But I do like the Giants on the points here, although historically they don't play well in the Superdome. But we'll see. This Saints team's not that good, actually, to be honest with you. So maybe you could actually get over on this one. Derek Carr's not healthy also, too. So
yeah, look, I like the Giants in the game. I like what DeVito is doing for this organization. Mm-hmm. One, it's giving a clear heads up to the front office. You wasted a shit ton of money on Daniel Jones. But you know what? He is certainly not the answer. What you did also discover? Dayball is your coach.
Yep.
He can win with any quarterback playing average quarterback. If he can just get a top 15 quarterback play, he's going to win with it. So you've got that going for you.
Yeah.
This game, yeah. I even think he got a chance in this, so give me the Giants.
All right. Next one here, we have the Falcons at Panthers. Falcons are only 3-point favorites, over under 34 points. Carolina sucks out loud, then. They really do. But the Falcons ain't much better, honestly. They've been so up and down. This game is trash. Give me the under this game. This could be another like 6-0 type of game. Honestly, I'm not joking when I say that. So I'll give you under this one. 34 points, a lot of points.
I think this is going to be Bryce Young's second victory of the season.
So on Huddle Up, last week I said my lock of the week was Carolina winning in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That did not happen. On last night's Huddle Up podcast, I said it again: Carolina winning this week against Atlanta. And I think they might win this game this week, but I'm not. Without picks, Tom, I'm not really brave enough to do that on our picks. I need to make some more efficient picks, so I'm gonna take the under this one. You have Carolina straight up?
Yeah, I'll take Carolina.
Dude, if Carolina wins this game, Atlanta's fucked. They're not. Yeah.
Look, the way it's going, there's 4 quarterbacks in the first round that are all better than what they have right now in
Right.
Ritter. So they should be able to draft at least one of those 4 quarterbacks, trade up if they have to get one of the 4, and they're going to be a great team next year on offense.
Yeah. All right, here we go. There's the 4:00 games here. Chiefs at Patriots. Chiefs 8.5-point favorites. The over/under is 37. Okay, so at what point do we say we'll worry about the Chiefs now? At what point do we say, okay, now we're concerned? Now or we wait another week?
They're the best team in football, but they don't have a single wide receiver you could trust.
Yeah.
It is the strangest feeling. But if Travis Kelce is not on the field, I feel like Kansas City is completely fucked. Because you can look at it. They have 3 losses on the docket that were essentially last play of the game or within the last minute of the game that would have been deciding. And also, with just in reference to the Bills, they own the Bills' defensive psyche. Thank you. Because you could tell they were already scared. They could feel that momentum coming. And then Travis Kelce made that play. It was all over for them. There was no coming back if the Bills were to ever meet them in the playoffs.
They're a combination of 4 players from being 11-1 right now.
Yeah. So that's why I say they are the best team in football. But they don't have a single wide receiver you could trust to catch a football.
Yeah, it's so bad. And yet, here's the thing. They remain in my Super Bowl bubble because, for one reason, the AFC still feels wide open. They just do. Like, as good as Baltimore is, I can see Baltimore losing in the second round of playoffs.
Oh, I could see him absolutely losing. For the simple fact, Baltimore can't close out a game, and they play down to opponents.
Yep.
So I have no faith in Baltimore right now.
Yeah. And that's why I'm taking the over in this game against the Patriots. Chiefs will win this game, and I think I think the Chiefs are going to win out and win 12 games this year, and all this will be forgotten by the time we get to the playoffs. But the Pats, they do have some pride on defense. With those receivers issues, I do think that the Pats could keep this game relatively competitive. But Chiefs win, but I'll take the over in this one, a slight over.
I would do a 2-team parlay, Chiefs and the under. And that's how strong I feel about both of those bets.
So which one are you picking for this one, though?
I'll take the Chiefs to cover.
Chiefs. Okay.
I'll take a super angry Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he can be angry when he wants. If your boy didn't catch the fucking ball,
Well, he caught the ball this time.
Yeah. Just can't stay behind the line. Whatever. Anyway, next one. Commanders. What's the Redskins? Commanders at Rams. Your Commanders at Rams. Rams 6.5-point favorites, over under 50. Biggest spread of the week. Biggest over under the week, actually, rather. Rams need this game. I feel really good about the Rams coming out of this. Even after losing to Baltimore, I feel good about this team making the playoffs. I feel like they're the team to get that 7th spot in the NFC wildcard. That's where I'm at.
Nice. Guess Matthew Stafford isn't washed up.
He's been playing pretty well. He played against that Baltimore defense. He torched them last week.
Yeah.
Give me the Rams. Washington is done. That the Chargers also cooked.
Look, the only thing Washington has is a quarterback. It's the only thing we don't have to worry about drafting this year. But yeah, my team completely sucks. We have no defense. I would venture to guess we could give up 40 points to every team in the league at this point, including the Jets. So that's not
Jets
bad,
too. Wow.
Yeah, we are a horrible team on defense.
Mm-hmm. Once you traded Chase Young, you knew that
wasn't what hurt us.
That's part of it.
Trading Sweat.
And Sweat too.
Got 12.5 sacks on the year.
Yep, having a great year in Chicago for the record. Yeah. Taking the Rams also?
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams.
All right. 4 more games here. We got Niners and Cardinals. Niners 12.5 point favorites, over under 47.5. So Cardinals also bye. The Niners, they beat Seattle. They didn't cover it, but they beat Seattle. That game was a little close-ish. By 12, but, still it felt like a competitive game, though, right? A lot of points in a row, though. I know the Niners are the best team in football, and I would never question that, but Arizona's kind of frisky, too. Kind of frisky. Since Kyler Murray's been back. They've been competitive. I don't know. I kind of want to take Arizona the points here. A lot of fucking points on the road.
I wouldn't do it.
What you got?
I got the Cardinals plus the points.
See, you have the same idea as I do.
Yeah. It's too many points on the road.
A lot of points. And I feel like the Niners, I think the Niners, I'm going to Arizona too also, for the simple fact also too that, in addition, I believe next week is the Niners-Ravens game. I think it's next week. Let me make sure that real quick. Because that game is a possible Super Bowl preview, and they could be looking ahead to that game. You know what I'm saying? I can see that playing out. That game is, it's on Christmas. Monday Night Football.
All right.
So, because of that, I'm going to take the Cardinals as well, because I think the Cardinals will, and then the Niners will look ahead a little bit in that game. Niners still win the game. We're not questioning that. It's just, do you put out all the artillery for this game, or you don't do it for the Cardinals? You do it for the
you're probably going to save a couple plays on offense, couple little trick plays,
to
use against the Ravens,
because that's a possible Super Bowl preview. Well, against both 2 number 1 seeds, right? 2 number 1 seeds right now currently in the NFL. All right, probably game of the week here. Cowboys at Bills. Bills 2-point favorites, over under 50.5. Again, Buffalo's live now, and they got a break too. That Justin Herbert injury helps the Bills, because that now gives the Bills 2 gimmies now with 4 weeks to go. They play, obviously they played the Cowboys this week, Patriots, Chargers, and Dolphins to close out the year. And they need every win they can get at this point now to get in the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Cowboys, big win against Philadelphia. Not surprised they won the game. The way they won, it was pretty impressive. However, the Cowboys gauntlet still continues, because you got to play Dallas. You got to play Buffalo this week in Buffalo. You also have to play Detroit again. It's not in order. Detroit on the schedule still. Who else on the schedule? You got Cowboys. You got Bills, Lions, Dolphins. Thank you. That's what it was. Dolphins. And then, of course, your Commanders a week to close out the year. So Cowboys still a couple of toughies coming up there. I'll be honest with you. This game has a letdown smell to it for the Cowboys. Give me the Bills straight up.
Oof. Would you have felt the same way had the Bills lost this past weekend to the Chiefs?
I feel like Buffalo would have probably been a little deflated if they lost that game.
All right. So I'm going to take the under in the game.
Oh, the under.
Because you got me worried about the Cowboys being a little deflated. I don't think they will.
Not deflated, but I think they'll let down.
I
Emotional
honestly
letdown.
think they'll beat the Bills,
Mm.
but I do believe it's going to be a very low scoring game. I could
Interesting.
see 2017.
Really?
Oh yes.
Interesting. Because I would have gone over if I was going that way. But interesting. All right, another huge game, Sunday football. Ravens at Jaguars. Ravens 3.5-point favorites, over under 42.5. Our old friend Calnez sent me the Jaguars injury report. It's not pretty. So I had the Jags initially on our picks yesterday and held up, and now I'm thinking I should go the other way now.
After we just talked about the Baltimore playing down to competition.
Well, I mean, Jags is on level, kind of, sort of, right?
Yeah, so they're gonna play. No, Jacksonville's not on the same level as
Not
Baltimore.
as Baltimore, but they're not down like
yes,
the Rams.
they are. You have to remember how easy the start of their schedule was this year, for why they jumped out to such a great
Fair point.
win-loss record.
I will say though, this is a game as a bettor, stay away from the whole thing. Stay away from this game completely. No over-unders, no spreads. If anything, I'll take the over in this game. Give me the over in this game. Let's stay away. Let's stay away from this game completely. It's the best bet. If you're gonna bet it, bet the over. My advice to bettors is listen to this podcast.
I would expect Baltimore to play down to their opponent and Jacksonville win this game, but I can't actually say that on your show. So give me the Ravens.
All right, and finally, Monday Night Football: Eagles at Seahawks. The Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. The over/under is 47.5. Eagles now have lost 2 in a row. Tough stretch. The gauntlet. This is the last game of the gauntlet they played. Cowboys twice, Chiefs in there, Niners, Bills. Again, if you had said they were gone 3-2 in that gauntlet, you'd been okay with that. But
Yeah.
it's the way they've looked though. Last couple of weeks though. But that being said, Philadelphia, for all the struggles they've had in the last couple of weeks, they are still in the driver's seat to win the division. And optics wise, if the Niners hiccup one time the rest of the year and the Eagles win out, they are still the number 1 seed. Their schedule is pretty easy the rest of the way. This is the toughest game of the last 4 games. You got Seahawks this week, 2 Giants games, and the Cardinals coming up. So the Eagles should hypothetically win out the year. But you know how the NFL has been so strange this year, so anything can happen. That being said, much I hate to say it because I hate the Eagles, give me the Eagles to cover this game.
Oh, give me the Eagles. I feel like Seattle's packing it in at this point. So
Yeah. I mean, I hung around in San Francisco last week, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think at this point, with them packing it in, perfect timing coming off a loss. Give me Philly.
Yeah. Should be interesting week. Again, I got to win out the rest of the year to surpass you this year. But I got a lot. I don't even faith, honestly. These games, soon they go zig, they go zag. So anyway, Zachary, good job as always on good luck with your picks this week. And yeah, get some rest, man. But I mean, that's beard.
Yeah, that's called not having time to shave.
Yeah,
I work and sleep. I like it.
You're a workaholic, man. So
nah, I'm getting old. I can't work as much anymore.
See, catch up with you a little bit. Enjoy life, brother.
Man, I had someone tell me I looked like I was in my 30s yesterday. It broke my heart that they couldn't lie to me and tell me I was in my 20s still.
Good job on you, buddy.
All right, man. You take it easy.
All right, buddy. Later.
Later.